What are off-planet presences really? What are we talking about? Off-planet entities, ETs. I'm going to start with a story. I was a couple of years ago down in Sedona, and there's this amazing, beautiful place called Angel Valley that you can go and stay. They have these beautiful little cabins. I was down there and just walking from one building to another, and I just felt. I can't tell you what I felt. There aren't words for it. I just felt presence. And it wasn't fearful by any stretch. It was odd, different, strange, not the same as, every day walking through the mall. But it just was very poignant, very undeniable. And I felt that, and just felt to turn and look left. And when I did, what I saw about, 12 or 15 feet from me was two sets of eyes, about 4 feet high. And it was obvious to me, beyond knowing, just knowing beyond any doubt, that these were two off-planet entities that were there, and they got my attention. Their presence got my attention, and I turned and actually addressed them and just said hello. And I asked, because it's just normal for me to ask, "Are you of love?" And the answer was yes. And so I just run with it and just let the interaction continue. And the interaction consisted of receiving a hello and a message in the form of a sensory awareness that you could call telepathy, but it goes beyond telepathy. It's much bigger than a mental connection. But it was a communication, just letting me know that they're here, that they acknowledged me, that they were willing to be acknowledged by me. And, it's kind of no different than walking down the street and you make eye contact with somebody, and, another person walking down the street. You make eye contact and you give each other a silent hello just by the connection. It was really no different, except that it felt very different, because here they are, and there weren't actually physical bodies there, except that there was the presence of two sets of eyes that were yellowish in color, about 4 feet high. So for myself, once it was clear, it was just an acknowledgement. There was nothing to do. There was nothing to get other than acknowledging the interaction. It just was time to move on. So I just turned and kept walking to my cabin and went into my cabin, laid down, and all is well. It was really, actually, really, really beautiful, really amazing to have that awareness and have that contact. So what are these two sets of eyes? Of course, some people listening are going to go, well, yeah, of course, and you're going to have the awareness immediately that they were of the Andromeda and that they were moving along. And I can't really say on a mission, because that's not what feels real to me. Some people would probably describe it that way, but they're just doing what they're doing, bringing their presence through various dimensionalities on our planet, but also continuing forth on their own journeys. So some of you can tune right in and just get the download, get the awareness of what was going on there. And for other people, it may not even sound real at all. It might sound like something that I or somebody else might make up. And what I want to say about that is it's all good. What we said in one of the earlier episodes is, how do I know what I feel? Or how do I know what I'm looking at? It's because of how it feels. So I'm not going to sit and look at, two sets of eyes that are a yellowish color and analyze it. I'm not going to even go hop online and look for other people's experiences. Not immediately, anyway. The first thing that I'm going to do is tune into my own body and look at what it actually felt like to walk through that experience, what it actually felt like physically to have the awareness and to acknowledge that that encounter just happened. The first thing I'm going to do is tune right into my own innate system for information and guidance on what it is I just experienced. Everybody has that capacity. And again, some people are much more comfortable with it. Some people are just starting to explore it. And that's what this entire series is going to be about, is touching on every level, whether it's innate and very, very conscious and aware for you, or whether it's a brand new concept and you're just starting to explore whether or not it's, safe to even use these words, off planet and ET. So what are they? Well, here they are, two sets of eyes presenting right there with a sensory awareness, a presence that I can feel with my own body, that sometimes, the encounters will make your hair stand up. And it comes with a capacity and a communication about love, about whether or not I need to be afraid, which I didn't. So there's obviously a ton of information out there about ETs and different off-planet races and why they're here and what they're about. So let's just let all of it be there. Let's not analyze whether one person's interpretation is more correct and another's is less correct, okay? Let's go bigger picture than that. There are many off-planet races. Some of them have a harmony with humanity and are showing up to assist the evolution of humanity, the evolution of consciousness in a way that benefits the whole. There are other races of off-planet entities that have other agendas. Their agenda is not in harmony with assisting the whole of humanity. So if we let it just be that simple, then it is that simple. There are some that are in harmony and totally of love in that they are here to assist, to amplify the love, the presence, the essence, the evolution of the highest good for the whole. And there are others who have a different agenda. Who they are beyond that are tones of consciousness. They're tones of consciousness that present as awareness. They're tones of consciousness that can present as physical beings. They are tones of consciousness that can communicate and share just eons of information about technology, about love, about consciousness, about awareness. They are tones of consciousness that can be in your guidance realms. There are many people who have the Pleiadians as guides, or the Orions, or the Venusians, or the Jupiterians, and many, many others, the Andromedans, the Plutonians, and much, much more. They are all tones of consciousness. They are tones of consciousness that will present to each and every individual who on a very big picture level give the go-ahead to have that dance for the highest expression of humanity. They're tones of consciousness that will sometimes show up as a blinking light in the sky that changes colors. They're tones of consciousness that sometimes show up as pairs of eyes and nothing more. They're tones of consciousness that can show up with a physical, tangible physical presence. One presentation isn't better than another. One isn't more correct than another. But there is a complementariness to when off-planet entities show up for humanity to be consciously aware of them. And the complementariness has a lot to do with what each person is available to see and encounter. So, for example, myself, I have communication with off-planet entities very, very fluidly. And it's happened my entire life, even before I even had the awareness of the terminology of off-planet entities. It's just been fluid conversations. And then, how blessed I was to finally connect with people who could give me vocabulary and assist me to understand what was going on. And, because it didn't really make sense that I had some strange innate ability to understand physics and mathematics and fractal physics and just all sorts of concepts that they don't teach in public school, but somehow I have the total awareness of it, And many people have an experience like that in their world. So there's a lot of communication that's going on. Some of us are more aware than others. But the complementariness comes in that when I am very, very clear that I'm available for connections that are of love, that are of the greatest contribution to the whole, when I make it very clear that I'm available for that, then those tones of consciousness can present themselves to me in a way that works for me. I'm very available for telepathic communication, for interaction and connection at very high realms of consciousness. Not everybody is. Not everybody's mental level is at a place where that kind of fluidity is anything other than just blow your mind scary. So there are many people, and maybe you're like this, maybe you know somebody like this, but there are many people whose heart is open to the connections of love, but their mind could not handle having something showing up like a little green man with big yellow eyes. Their mind couldn't handle that. So when you're available for connections of love, but your mind can't handle that, then it's not going to present that way for you. The tones of consciousness from off-planet entities can absolutely show up as guidance and as love. They don't have to show up as this physical presence that looks like what we see as an alien. It doesn't have to be that way in order for contact to happen. All the conversation about first contact, well, contact has happened long ago. I mean, let's talk about pyramids and all of the stone megaliths and more and more and more and more. Really, let's talk about the consciousness that helped humanity be aware that looking at the stars could tell them something. Okay? There are many, many, many different realms of consciousness through which we can play with off-planet entities and off-planet presences. They are various frequencies and tones of consciousness that are there to assist and guide us when we are open to receiving that assistance and guidance, very much like the angelic realms, very much like the archangelic realms and the guidance realms. Again, you are creator. You are creator in form, incarnate. And as a unique aspect of creator, you have the innate capacity to declare throughout the universe and all of consciousness, I am available for connections of love that complement my unique expression as creator. And I'm not available for anything but. You can declare that for yourself. And when your heart is open to it and you claim yourself as creator and let your higher levels, let the universe know that you are okay with being connected and contacted in ways that complement you, that are gentle to you, that are enjoyable for you, then let your body take a breath and know that as that brilliant uniqueness that you are so fully supported. And connections will start to happen in ways that when you connect, whether it's with another person, whether it's a sense, whether it's a feeling like you turn left and you look around and there doesn't seem to be anything there, check in with your body. How did my body respond in that connection? Not to look at is it good or is it bad, but to have the dialogue open. Because whether the connections come telepathically, whether they come as a direct knowing, whether they come, it doesn't matter how they come. They're going to come in a way that complements you. You don't have to be subjected to difficult, uncomfortable things. You, as creator, can declare yourself available to be complemented in ways that are enjoyable to you. Now, heart levels, let's open and see what kind of gifts are here for me as I continue to open myself further and really let myself be embraced as the unique aspect of creator consciousness that I am. When you start playing there and you really do open up to embrace who you truly are throughout all of consciousness, you cannot help but be complemented by the universe. The whole entire universe is sitting around and just with so many gifts, waiting for each and every one of us to go, okay, I'm here and I'm open. Let's have it. I'm ready to receive the gifts. And then just watch them come in as gently, as beautifully, as bigly, as fast, as slow, in a way that is going to work for you. It's really, really fun. So keep playing with it. And thanks for joining me on the journey. Again, if you have questions, leave them down in the comments section, because that's just going to help everything, help guide the whole conversation. Have a beautiful, awesome day, being awesome, and I'll talk to you again soon. Have fun. Bye.